And Wolfbox has just introduced their newest air duster, the MF200. And these air blowers are getting more popular now because of their ability to be used for cleanup, basically a little mini air blower to use around the car or the vehicle, but also because of their ability to be used to inflate things like pool inflatables and air mattresses. Now the MF200 is currently being offered alongside its smaller brother, the MF100, and on this video I'm gonna walk you through their features, that way you can compare them and decide which is the right one for you. And I place a link in the description down below to the Wolfbox Mega Flow air dusters if you'd like to get one for yourself. So let's start with their similarities. Both of them are going to be able to push out air at speeds in excess of 190 miles per hour, and both of them feature 3 speed settings in case you don't need the full power. And they're fairly easy to use. To turn them on, you hold the power button down until you see the lights, and now you can press the front trigger to get a blast of air. Also notice that when you turn it on, it is going to give you full power as indicated by the 3 LED lights. If you want to decrease the power, you can just tap the power button and that is going to lower it to the middle setting or its lowest setting. Now, as far as battery capacity, both of them are equipped with a 3000 milliamp battery, and there is a power level indicator on each one of the air dusters. On the bottom, you get those 4 LED lights telling you the battery status. And as far as runtime, we get 10 minutes of continuous air at full power, or if you lower it to the first speed setting, then you can get up to 100 minutes of air. But here's where their biggest difference lies. On the MF100, the battery is built in on here, so once it's depleted, I have to charge this before I can use it again. Where on the MF200, the battery now is detachable, which allows me to grab another battery that's fully charged, slap it in, and I am ready to go. Now, the replaceable battery system does come at the cost of a slightly larger size on that MF200 versus the more compact MF100. However, even with this larger size, I'm still able to carry either one on my pockets. And weight is also slightly higher on the MF200, but the difference, in my opinion, is so small, it's hard to tell if you just kind of hold each one on each hand. It's such a small difference. Going back to the battery, charging time for either one of these guys is literally about the same. 2.5 hours to 3 hours to fully charge them from 0 to 100. But again, the advantage on that MF200 is that I'm able to swap in a freshly charged battery and resume working, where on the MF100, I'm gonna have to wait up to 3 hours for this to be fully charged to 100% again. And the MF100 is gonna give you 5 nozzles. A general purpose nozzle, this slightly more focused nozzle, a flat one for wider coverage, a long tip nozzle, and this skinny nozzle which can be used to inflate items with a very small air plug. And here's the second biggest difference between both of these units. The MF200 only comes with 4 nozzles. We get the general nozzle, then we get the focus nozzle, then the wider nozzle, and then this longer inflating nozzle. However, we don't get the very skinny, long inflating nozzle that we get on the MF100, which is normally going to be used for, again, things that have a very small air plug. And here's the actual measurement of the 2 nozzles side by side. That way you can compare their size to the size on the item that you're looking to inflate and see if it's going to work for you or not. And to also give you an idea of how much air these things can deliver, again, both of them pretty much deliver the same amount of air. Let's take a look at inflating a 6-foot long pool inflatable. Now, I would recommend that you switch to a lower speed as you get closer to the item getting filled, or if you're just adding a little bit of top off, you have a little bit more control by lowering that speed and adding a little bit of air as needed. And a quick note regarding the maximum speed, which is number 3. When you are on that maximum speed, pressing and holding the trigger down is gonna deliver air. As soon as you let go of the trigger, the air is gonna stop. For speed 1 and 2, if you tap it, the air is gonna come out continuously, no need to hold on the trigger, and then tapping this one more time is gonna turn off the air. And I think that's kind of a safety feature, that way you don't overinflate and pop an item, because that speed number 3 can deliver a lot of air, so it makes sense to have to hold the button down to deliver that amount of air, but then being able to switch to the lower speeds where you don't have to hold down the trigger should prevent overinflating. Let me also show you how to change the nozzle, all you do is turn, the nozzle comes off, then you can grab that new nozzle, put it in there, turn, and it's ready to go. And for value, the difference in pricing between both of these guys is only about $20. So my recommendation is that if you don't need to inflate very small items that require this nozzle, go for the MF200. I think it makes more sense. Now I do really like the small size of the M100, so it's still a good bang for its buck, but as with anything that has a built-in battery, that battery eventually is gonna degrade over time, and it could get to a point where it stops working. And if that battery is not replaceable, this essentially could eventually become a paperweight. So because of that, I think the M200 makes a lot more sense, even if you have to pay a little more, not only because of that extended runtime capacity, but also if you don't plan to use multiple batteries, it is still nice to know that if the original battery eventually wears out, you can always get a replacement one, bringing your MF200 back to life, which should definitely exceed the service life of the M100 with its built-in battery. And regardless of which one you choose, I think both of them are also going to be a more convenient option over buying cans of compressed air, especially because compressed air can generate moisture, and all of a sudden you're spraying something, you turn the can in the wrong way, and now you spray that electronic device that might be sensitive with moisture, where on here you don't have that issue. The last thing you may be wondering about is how loud these things are in real life. And they're actually not that loud. They're probably only as loud as a hairdryer at an arm's length. And so let's go ahead and try the MF100. Now the MF200. Probably a little bit louder on here. There's all kinds of dust flying around. And on the lower speeds, if I do speed number 2, it's even quieter. So in conclusion, I will say MF200 for power users who don't need to inflate small items, and MF100 for pretty much everybody else who's gonna have light use of this unit, specifically if they need to inflate small items that require the smaller nozzle. Now you could inflate larger items using the larger nozzle. Again, the battery capacity in between this and the amount of air that it can deliver is about the same. The difference is really between the replaceable battery and the amount of accessories that they include. So I'll place links to both of these dusters in the description down below in case you want to get one for yourself. And if you guys have any other questions regarding this, please put that in the comments. Also, if you found any part of this video helpful, make sure you hit the like button to support the channel, and stay tuned as I have a lot more reviews coming up. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.